Hi, friends. It's the Evolving Guys here. Today, I want to talk to you about where you should buy your sealed Pokemon card products. Again, with these videos, I'm thinking about parents and grandparents who might need a little help, or maybe you're returning to the hobby after some time away. I'm relatively new to Pokemon myself, and I'm trying to pay forward some of the lessons that I've learned over the last few years as I have gotten into Pokemon card collecting. So I hope this information is useful. Please use the comments to share your own insights about where you get your cards. I would love to hear from you. So I wanted to start off with what I think is a really important concept when we're thinking about buying Pokemon card products, and that is MSRP, which stands for Manufacturer's Suggested Retail Price. This is the price that the Pokemon Company expects customers to pay for its products. I think it's important to know what the MSRP is for some standard Pokemon card products that you might find on store shelves, because even at big box retailers, you might find them for different prices. I think sometimes it's fine to pay MSRP or even maybe a little bit more than MSRP depending on the product, but at bottom it's that baseline price and it's important to know what that expected cost is. For me, most of the time I really try to get most things for under MSRP, especially for currently available products, and I'll talk more about my strategies in a few minutes. Probably the easiest way to figure out what the MSRP is to go to Pokemon's official website, which is PokemonCenter.com. It's there on the screen. If you go to the trading card game tab that you see there in the upper middle, then you can bring up a list of their Pokemon card items. Not every single possible Pokemon card sealed item is going to be in here, but it still is a good place to start. They only sell sealed products at PokemonCenter.com, so no single cards here. I'll have a different video talking about singles. You can filter by type of product, and you can also click, there's a radio button on the left-hand side for in stock only to see currently available items. When an item goes out of stock at the PokemonCenter.com, then it's likely that the price of that product in the real world will become more than MSRP because it's going to be harder to find. But for this video, we're really just talking about currently available items that should be in stock at the Pokemon Center and relatively easy to find out and about. All right, so I've divided store types into different categories that make intuitive sense to me. You might have a different way that you think about it. I wanted to start off with what I'm calling big box stores, which mostly we're talking here about Target and Walmart. Both stores have Pokemon products both in store and online. You'll usually find products at these stores at or very close to MSRP, although occasionally these stores will mark things up a little bit above MSRP. It's also true that you can sometimes find sales at both stores, especially online if you are willing to check there. But on the whole, these are perfectly fine places to buy Pokemon card products. I've also added Amazon here because obviously it doesn't have a physical location, but they function, I think, somewhat like a big box retailer. They do sell Pokemon card products, but you have to be a little more careful on Amazon because you have to see who the seller is. If it's sold and shipped by Amazon, then you're much more safe there versus third-party sellers. And sometimes they have really good deals, which I'll come back to in a little bit. One nice thing about Target and Amazon is if you have their store credit cards, as I note here, a pro tip, you get 5% back on all purchases, which includes obviously your Pokemon card products. So that provides you an immediate discount on Pokemon card products. I don't know if Walmart has a similar type of credit card. I don't have theirs if they do, but I do know that Target and Amazon do. So I wanted to talk next about other kinds of chain stores. One nice thing about hunting for Pokemon card products in 2024 is that you can find cards a lot of different places, even some places you might not expect. For example, many of these major pharmacy chains like Walgreens and Rite Aid and CVS will carry some Pokemon card products. Barnes & Noble is often overlooked and pretty well stocked. Where I live, there's a chain of grocery stores called Fred Meyer, which often have a wide selection of Pokemon card products. The YouTuber Real Breaking Nate, which many of you may know, is a good source of places. He does lots of hunting, and you can find other YouTubers who do the out and about sort of videos where they're out looking for card products. It's good, in your local area just to do, I think it's kind of fun to go from store to store and just to get a sense of who has cards and what kinds of card products that they have. Again, most officially licensed kind of packaged and sold by Pokemon card products at these locations should be around MSRP. One wrinkle with a few of these stores, especially the pharmacy chains listed here, is that they also carry Pokemon card products that are packaged by third-party companies, so not the Pokemon company itself. The cards and the packs inside these products are still genuine Pokemon card products, but often they're not as good of a deal. I'll have a different video where I talk about the different kinds of Pokemon card products soon. There are also places like the dollar stores like Dollar General and Family Dollar, Big Lots, Burlington, Costco, even Aldi sometimes will have Pokemon card products. Sometimes those places are a little less reliable as far as what you'll find or if you'll find anything. But again, as you get a sense, if you want to take the time to go hustle from store to store, you'll get a sense of what kinds of products are showing up at which stores. The next group of stores I wanted to talk about are what I'm calling game stores. And by this, I'm mostly thinking about Best Buy and GameStop. These stores have obviously a niche in electronics and gaming, and they both do carry Pokemon card products at MSRP with occasional deals. I put these stores together because, again, they're, I think, similar kinds of stores, but also because they are two stores that offer often individually packaged Pokemon promotional cards that come with the release of new sets. So Best Buy and GameStop are the two places that you can get those cards. They're often different promotional cards. The GameStop one often has the GameStop logo stamped on it. And Best Buy usually doesn't have Best Buy, but it has the name, the logo of the set stamped on it. So if you're a collector of those kinds of cards, these are the two places that you can find those, but they also will have usually a pretty wide selection of sealed Pokemon card products. GameStop has a nice membership program that I will talk more about later, but I think both of these places are good options for finding cards at MSRP or sometimes below. A related category of stores are what I'm calling local game stores or LGSs. I'm not just calling them this. This is what they're known as. You may hear that acronym in collecting circles, the LGS or local game stores. You can see that my slide is blank here because by definition, these are unique stores to your local area. Hopefully you live in a place with one or maybe even more than one of these stores. It's likely that they do many other things besides Pokemon, such as comic books, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, and other things like that. But they can still be really good resources for Pokemon card products, Pokemon single cards, and also playing the Pokemon trading card game. In my experience, local game stores, when it comes to sealed Pokemon card products, they tend to mark those products up by maybe 5 or 10% above MSRP. So, on one hand, I know that profit margins on these products are quite thin for retailers, and I don't begrudge these local businesses that need to stay open and make a living. On the other hand, as a consumer trying to maximize my collection dollar, as Danny Fantep would say, you can usually find these same products at or below MSRP elsewhere. And sometimes the markup at some local game stores can be excessive. So you just have to know. Hopefully, you're in a place where they're reasonable with their markups. In my case, I love our local game stores and want to support them, but I tend to support them through buying single cards and participating in things like pre release tournaments rather than through buying my sealed Pokemon card products there, especially the current sealed products, which again, I can get for less elsewhere. So there are some local game stores that have a prominent online presence, and so in some ways they're less local because you can buy products from them anywhere. And in fact, these online LGSs often offer the best deals on Pokemon card products anywhere. They buy products at wholesale prices, and in some cases, they pass those savings on to the customer. You can get them at or near wholesale pricing. These stores also sometimes have products that aren't available in some stores, like booster boxes, which again, I'll do a different video talking about the different kinds of Pokemon card products. So I put a few of my favorite online LGSs on the screen. You can see Game Nerds, the Card Coliseum, and Zulus. And there are many others. I'll put some links in the description to some ones that I like. So I wanted to say a quick word about some other online vendors because several of you are probably wondering 9 minutes into the video, where is eBay? eBay has its place for the buying and selling of Pokemon cards, but because it's more of an open marketplace, I think it can be a little more easy to be taken advantage of if you don't know a lot about the hobby. I think eBay can be best for people who have some experience with Pokemon card products, especially if you're looking at sealed products. It's a good place for singles, but in a similar way, you have to be careful about who you're buying from and make sure they have a good reputation and you kind of know what you're looking at. eBay is in some ways better for products that you can't get elsewhere, things that are out of stock and things that are older vintage. But again, that's a topic for another video. So all of this said, there are a couple vendors on eBay with good track records that sell sealed Pokemon card products for well below MSRP, sort of like the game stores that we just talked about. The two examples I put on the screen are ones that I use and trust. Pete Football Pete for DHX and Anderson Authentics both will sell well below MSRP on current sealed products. I also wanted to have one slide about TCG Player. Some of you may have heard of this website. It caters to the trading card game community. And as mentioned, it's a really important resource for collectors because among other reasons, it's the place where what is called the market price of any given product or card is determined. TCG Player market price guides a lot of the Pokemon card secondary market and the singles market. This becomes important for items that are hard to find or out of stock. And even if it's a currently stocked item, it might be interesting to look on TCG Player to look at the market value of current products. Often, the market rate of widely available products would be below MSRP, and TCG Player is a trusted place to buy and sell Pokemon card products, including sealed products. Vendors on TCG Player could be local game stores, or it could be just individuals. One resource I wanted to point you to is on Twitter or X, a couple of handles that identify and share good deals on Pokemon cards. So if you're on this platform anyway, it might be something to have a tab open as I do in my browser. And I'm going to it once in a while to refresh and see if they have some new ideas. This might be next level for some of you, but again, if you're on X anyway, these handles provide links to places with good prices on sealed Pokemon products. They cover a whole range of places, including big box stores, chain stores, and online LGSs. Their threads also have places where individuals will reply and post photos from their local areas with what they're finding on their local shelves. So it's also a good source to see what you might expect to pop up in your area. It's also fun to learn about when unexpected or vintage card products pop up on store shelves, which does happen sometimes. And I'll come back to that in a few minutes. So Pokemon Drops and Pokemon Deals and News are two handles that I follow. All right. So I hope that this survey of the different types of stores has been helpful. Now I just wanted to tell you where I buy my cards. So the Pokemon Center, as mentioned at the beginning, always sells cards for MSRP. It's Pokemon's official website for selling its products. I can usually find sealed products for less than MSRP, especially, again, current ones. But as long as it's in stock at the Pokemon Center, then that can be a reliable backup. You know you're getting it from a good source and for a decent price. However, it is worth saying that with every new set, there are a couple products that are exclusive to the Pokemon Center, namely the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. Again, I'll do a different video to talk about the different kinds of Pokemon card products, but I do order, I'd like to have these for collecting purposes. So I will buy off the Pokemon Center. I do buy these exclusive Elite Trainer boxes off of the Pokemon Center for my sealed collection. Also, occasionally there will be an exclusive promo card that's only available at the Pokemon Center with a purchase of a certain threshold, maybe $15 or $20, like the recent Pikachu with the gray felt hat card. So it's worth keeping an eye on that. Again, that might be next level for some of you. You're not going to track things that closely. But the Pokemon Center for me is I use for those exclusive products, those exclusive ETBs in particular, and those special drops. So I mentioned earlier that GameStop has a really good membership program that I think is really well worth it. It's $25 a year to become what they call a pro member. And as a pro member, you get a $5 off coupon every month, which of course you can use for anything, but I use for Pokemon cards. In addition, all Pokemon card products are automatically 5% off for pro members. Additionally, you earn points with any purchase that are redeemable for additional money off as you earn enough points, and I found that it's relatively easy to accrue enough points that gets you additional discounts. They also will often have sales or specials on Pokemon card items, $10 off or $10 off when you spend $100 or buy 3 booster packs, get 1 free, those sorts of things. So altogether, I find GameStop is a really good place because it's pretty easy to get products for under MSRP. If you stack these rewards, then you can use your $5 off. You're already getting 5% off. You might have some rewards points that you can toss in there, and maybe there's a deal going on. So I find that GameStop's is a really good source. And if nothing else, I'll stop every month, use my $5 off to buy something, and I'll usually be as strategic as I can about buying a product that I might not be able to get elsewhere, or is more expensive elsewhere, or has packs in it that I'm interested in, that sort of thing. I also mentioned that some online game stores sell sealed Pokemon card products at pretty significant discounts. And so for me, actually, when I buy most of my new sealed products, I'm looking at those online game stores. When I'm interested in a particular product, whether it's to open or whether to keep sealed for my sealed collection, I'll usually check these sites, which I'll link in the description and which I've mentioned before. I know from past experience, these handful of places offer good deals. When the prices are close, I would opt for the store that offers a rewards program. So as you can see here, Game Nerds is the one I often end up going with. They have good, often the lowest prices anyway, and they have a really nice rewards program that over time you get money back on future purchases. I also will check those two vendors that I mentioned on eBay because they also will have pretty low prices, although there's no rewards program in buying from them. And I'll also keep my eye on Amazon. I do have a Prime Visa card and I'm a Prime member, so I get 5% cash back on any Amazon purchase. And shipping is usually free at any level because I'm a Prime member. So I'm comparing and contrasting many of these different places, but in the end, I usually am going through Game Nerds, through GameStop, and through Amazon, and then the exclusive products at the Pokemon Center. So I wanted to give one quick example to give you an idea of how this might matter. So the current set that is out on shelves is called Temporal Forces. It came out in late March, and the next set will be in May. So this is kind of that sweet spot, that window of time when this is the main set that Pokemon is putting out on store shelves. So I just did a quick look online to find what the prices are for these products. So this is called the Elite Trainer Box. Again, I'll talk about that in a different video. There's actually two versions of the Elite Trainer Box for this current set. You can see them there. And I just went online and you can see there's quite a range. So the MSRP for one Elite Trainer Box is $49.99. You may just want one. If you want both, they have the same packs inside, but they have slightly different other products, including a different promo card. You can get the promo cards, pretty cheap on the secondary market, which again, we'll talk about in another video. But you can see here the range. The MSRP is $49.99. That's what Target is selling it for. Walmart was actually $5 more than MSRP online, at least. Again, you can sometimes find deals both online and in-store at Target and Walmart, so it's worth checking. You can see GameStop, you get that 5% discount. So for pro members, it's $47.49 to start, and that's before you might apply your $5 monthly gift card or any points that you've accrued. I found it for $45.75 Amazon. And again, as a Prime member, I get 5% back off of that in addition to free shipping. So that's pretty attractive. But you can see here, Game Nerds is selling this set as a pair at $73.97, which works out to $36.99. So you can see that's pretty significant. That's almost $15 below MSRP. They do have, I think, a threshold of $75 to get free shipping, but it might be worth checking out. And then TCG Player, again, the online source for focusing on the trading card game community, I found it looked like someone with a good seller reputation selling the pair for actually $70, so a little bit less. And so if you wanted, and which included shipping for free. So you can see there's quite a spread, and paying MSRP is fine. That's what the Pokemon company expects of you. But you can see that if you look at some of these other places, you can save quite a bit. All right, so I'm almost done. I just had a couple other things I wanted to talk about. So I talked about where I buy my cards, but I also think it's important to say that you can find value almost anywhere if you know what you're looking for. So as you get more familiar with the hobby, you'll realize that some products are more desirable than others, and in some cases, there are even hard to find products that will occasionally pop up in certain places. So even if I don't buy products regularly from a store like Target or Walmart, I still like to stop in and I check to see what they have, especially if I know that there's a particular product I have in mind that might be likely to show up. So I wanted to give a couple examples of what I mean by that. So on this slide, on the left, I have a picture of what's called a 151 booster bundle. Scarlet and Violet 151 is probably the most popular set in the last year or so. And it's always difficult to find anything that's 151 on the shelves because they sell out really quickly. And it wasn't maybe, although a reprint is coming, they just are hard to find on store shelves, even though it's a current set. So anytime you see 151 on a shelf, regardless of the store and almost kind of regardless of what the cost is, I wouldn't pay much more than MSRP for it. But if you can find it even at MSRP, then that's a good deal because these are hard to find. On the right side is what's called the Mimikyu EX Showcase Box. This is kind of a quirky product that Pokemon put out. These occasionally pop up at Walmart, and most recently, they've been popping up at Target. This product is pretty nondescript if you just were to see it. It retails for $14.99. Actually, last summer, it was going for $11.98 at Walmart, which was even better. $14.99 is not an amazing price for just 3 booster packs and a bulk promo card that's not really worth anything. However, what's important to know about this is that one of those 3 booster packs inside is from a set called Evolving Skies, which is the most coveted set over the last several years. One pack of Evolving Skies has a market price of around $10, and there's some chase cards in that set that are worth many hundreds of dollars, including one chase card that I think last I checked was over $600. So it's really hard to find. It's also an out-of-print set, so you're not going to find Evolving Skies on the shelves. So when a product pops up that has an Evolving Skies pack in it, it's definitely worth grabbing. So I do check Walmart and Target when I found that these were popping up. And actually, over the weekend, I was fortunate enough to find 3 of these at Target and grab them, even though I usually don't buy things at Target, but this was too good to pass up. And it always pays to check. So on the last slide, I have 2 other examples of this. On the left-hand side is a third-party pack that was available a few months ago at local Rite Aid stores, at least in my area. It also has 2 booster packs inside, one Evolving Skies and one from a set called Chilling Rain. These retailed for about $13, which again is a pretty terrible price to pay for 2 booster packs, but it's not so terrible when one of those booster packs again is Evolving Skies, which itself is worth almost the cost of it. And Chilling Rain is actually in its own right a pretty desirable set. Both sets are out of print. So these popped up and I was happy to grab them. And so again, this is a case, maybe it's a next level collecting thing. Once you get more familiar with what values out there and what the sets are and what they mean, you can be discerning that again, that almost any store potentially could have something that you might be interested in. And then lastly, on the right-hand side is an example of a Pokemon tin that started showing up at Walgreens stores in my area recently. It's a tin from what's called the XY era of Pokemon cards, which is almost 10 years ago. So sometimes you will get these in these random stores. You'll just have these old products pop up, which is another reason that I like to check stores, even if I tend to not buy things at certain stores or can get things, certain products cheaper elsewhere. You just don't always know when something like this is going to pop up. Unfortunately, this particular one had new packs inside, which sometimes happens. The tin is old and the promo card on the front is old, but the packs inside were new. But still, it was fun and kind of a fun as an experiment to grab these and to see what I could find. All right. So I hope this has been helpful. See the link in the video. If you see the video description for links about some of the places I've talked about today. And please use the comments to give your best advice about where you buy your sealed Pokemon products. All right, that's all for today. Make it a great day.